What's good? It's Jeron with the Lava Lounge here. I'm with Erupt Management and the Erupt Music Group. And today we're kicking off our first episode. We got Doug Rasheed, Grammy nominated, multi-platinum producer, has made some of the biggest songs in music history, some of your favorite songs, some of your mom's favorite songs, shoot, some of your grandma's favorite songs. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into this interview and get into what Doug has done over his career and offer some insight in today's music industry for new producers and new musicians and just what's happening in our culture today. Doug, thank you for joining us, man. I appreciate you joining us here on the Lava Lounge.
Thank you for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
So I'm gonna jump straight into it, man. I want to get a little bit about you, where you're from, how you got started as a music producer and a songwriter.
Well, I grew up in San Diego, which is, I pretty much say I'm from San Diego because that's where I spent most of my life since I was about 7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
You said how I got started?
Yeah. How you get started? What was your first break?
Yeah, my dad is a musician, so I was always around music, always been influenced. My mom sings like a bird, beautiful. And so I was around music. Ironically, I was the only child that took to music as far as being a player, play the bass, and pretty much got my start when I was around, I started playing really seriously around 15 years old on the bass. Then I got real serious about it when I was 25. Moved to Japan, played over there, got my chops real tight. And while I was over there, bought some equipment and just started messing around just to pass the time and wound up falling in love with songwriting and production.
Okay. So after you fell in love with it, you got going, what was your first break, your first paying gig in this industry that kind of said, hey, you know what, I can do this.
Well, the first gig, I didn't really get paid for it. That's like the same old story, right?
True story,
I
all
got
the
a little
time,
money,
yeah.
but I didn't get no royalties. But it was a guy named Johnny Z, a Mexican rapper out of San Diego. And he did pretty good. I mean, he probably sold maybe 40, 50,000 records. We did the
Okay.
album in my living room, you know what I mean? So
Okay, and we talking CDs.
Yeah.
We talking
What's that?
CDs, actual CDs.
Yeah. So, but as far as my first real commercial release, it would have been Y Envy, which was on a Paul Stewart's group. Paul Stewart managed Coolio and Montel Jordan and a few other groups, House of Pain, Warren G. He was really popping at the time when I moved to LA in '93. So when I started working with him, I was able to work with some of his groups.
Okay.
And so Y Envy, Chocolate Tie.
Okay, Chocolate Tie, for sure. Classic record too. So I'm gonna jump straight into some of your biggest one. I would say, especially in today's industry and what people are gonna recognize, of course, is the work that you did with Tupac. I see you got the plaque behind you. You did 2 records off the All Eyes on Me album. You did Only God Can Judge Me Now, and then you did I'd Rather Be Your Nigga. What led to that project coming about?
Well, my brother, Tony, your cousin.
Okay.
Maybe I should say that. My brother. Let me just do that again. We can edit that out.
Yeah.
My brother Tony. He knew somebody that was working with Tupac, and he told me he could probably hook me up and get him some music. So I made a cassette tape. I only thought I had about 4 tracks that I thought was worthy. Put them on a cassette, gave to my brother. He gave to his friend. 2 days later, I got a call from Tupac, and I was surprised, but I was pleasantly surprised. He said he wanted to record 2 of the songs, and
That's
that was,
amazing.
the rest is history.
So what was that experience like to work with him in a creative way?
It was wonderful. I mean, Tupac, I learned a lot from Tupac because Tupac did not play around when it came to work. He was a lot of fun, and we did have a lot of fun, hung out and did a lot of other stuff, but when it came time to work, he was a workaholic, and he wasn't really, I wouldn't say a perfectionist. He was very much like the way that I am. I like to just kind of let it go and see what happened, and then if it's something that sounds good, even if it's not perfect, I'm keeping it.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to do, and the one thing I hate, is recording something over and over and over and over again, and it just gets worse and worse. After a
Yeah.
while, you can't get the feel, and you might get it technically right. And so Pac was about that, and you could hear it in his music. I mean, you hear all types of mistakes. I call them mistakes because his vocals wouldn't be together, and you hear say another word, it'll be off, and it just sounds like he probably just meant to do that.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just, it's just how it came out.
Okay. So I'm gonna throw a name out there and just tell me your thoughts. Just because I'm sure inquirer minds would like to know for people who have these experiences. But Suge Knight,
Suge Knight,
did you have
nice
any?
guy.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Just want to see how your interactions was. There's a lot of.
I'll put it to you like this: my interaction with Suge was very professional,
Okay.
and it was always laid back, cool. Everything was calm, collected. He came in the studio one time when I was working on one of Pac's records, and he wanted me to listen to a group he was working on, and he was very cordial. Excuse me, you don't mind if I listen to some? You know what I'm saying?
Bet.
I think Suge Knight was gangster. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I mean, if you was a man, and you held your own manhood, he respected you. He was
Okay.
cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Bet. I can definitely understand that. So
yeah.
I'm gonna move on to the next. I mean, I probably one of the biggest records all time in rap it was labeled as such, and that's Gangsta's Paradise. Coolio is the artist. It was from the motion picture Dangerous Minds, which for me growing up was like one of the biggest movies. I remember just constantly that movie was just being advertised, and then when it came out, it was just one of those things that was on VHS tape that you immediately went and bought and you kept and you watched it over and over again. It became a cult record, and not only for that time period, it lasted the test of time. It's been used over and over again in countless movies. How did that record happen? How did that whole project start?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna try to
I know.
condense. Now, Paul Stewart, same guy. He was managing Coolio, and by that time, we had been working. We had done work with Montel Jordan and a bunch of stuff. Me and Paul were roommates. We rented a little mansion up in the Hollywood Hills, and we used to throw parties all the time. He was a DJ. He had a record collection. I had a record collection.
Okay.
So we would have contests to see who could pull out the dopest sample, and then I would try to flip it. So on this day, I pulled out the Stevie Wonder sample, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you got me today, bro. You won that one." So I flipped the beat. And once I flipped the beat, we had one of our parties. Coolio happened to come by, which he usually would. And he heard the beat, and he was like, "Yo, that's dope, man. You did that?" I was like, "Yeah." So, LV was there too. And we just got together and collaborated and put it together.
And you not only produced it, you co-wrote.
Co-wrote it, I
Correct?
arranged the choir, I played all the instruments on there. Everything but the rap. Everything but the rap is all me. Yeah.
Okay.
Same
Okay.
with Tupac stuff.
And so I wanted to bring it up to talk about the impact of working with artists that go on that may be starting from humble beginnings and they go on to bigger things. So I'm gonna run down a list of some greats that you've worked with here. So we're talking about Whitney Houston, LL Cool J, New Edition, Brandy. You mentioned Montel Jordan, Jamie Foxx, Barry White, Shaka Khan, Sting. Is there anybody that you really wish you had worked with? I mean, these are some up there. Is there anybody on here that's like? There's a couple people that's missing.
There's one missing it's because there's two. I was supposed to work with James Brown, and it just didn't work out. We talked on the phone and everything.
Okay,
That didn't work out
that's
because
huge.
the deal didn't go through with the company. But there was another movie I worked on. I was supposed to work with Anthony Kiedis, who's the lead singer from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay, wow.
And I was excited about it because that's one of my favorite groups. People are surprised I listen to that type of music, but I do. I love that.
No, Red Hot Chili Peppers,
I
classic.
love that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So we were supposed to work together, man, and for whatever reason, he was missing in action. Nobody could find him. They were able to find some of the other guys in the band, and they're like, "Hey, Anthony's missing. He's missing in action." We never could find him. We ended up doing the record with Michael Hutchence, which is the lead singer from he passed away now, but he was the lead singer from In Excess.
Okay, okay, all right. So I'm gonna get local for a minute here. This show Lava Lounge is filmed in the Bay Area. I'm born and raised in San Francisco, California. You have also produced with some legends that are up here in the Bay. That's Richie Rich, Rappin' Forte. Um, you know, as a native, I feel the Bay gets overlooked in the hip hop and the rap game for its contribution. What is your perspective on that? Having worked with some of these artists, having been a part of rap from, kind of from the beginning, and seeing what the different regions all come out. What is your take on the Bay Area and its sound and what makes it unique?
It's definitely unique. I mean, I think that the South got its sound from the Bay. If you ask me, they just
Okay,
put their own
that sounds
twist on
good.
it.
I love it.
But yeah, I really do, because the Bay was doing all that heavy bass, the 808s, and they were doing a lot of that type of stuff even before we were doing it in LA. So I always respected the Bay, and I learned a lot up there working with guys like the ones you mentioned. And then there was a guy named the Governor. They called him the Governor. I can't remember his real name, but the Governor was managing a lot of groups. He had Drew Downer, and the
Yeah.
Loonies was around there. I worked with the Loonies too. You didn't mention
Okay,
them, but
for sure.
I did work with those guys too. And the Bay Area, they are overlooked. I agree with that as far as commercially. However, the Bay Area takes care of itself. You know what I mean? They
Understood.
get their own. And that's one thing I always respected about the Bay, because even the people that live there, they support the artists, and there's a culture there that I haven't really seen anywhere else.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I'm gonna move on a little bit to today's industry. Um, it's an industry of streaming. Um, it's an industry where there's not really the tangible material. It's more about social media. It's more about your visuals. You have a 25 plus tenure in this industry. Um, what do you think has made you be able to stay relevant, even if you haven't necessarily made something as of current? I see. Let's just tie this right back into that Tupac record. You were just credited with the songwriting for Megan Thee Stallion's record, Bitch. So how did that come about? How can that show your explain how to new producers and other music artists how that gave you the longevity in this game?
Right. Well, I think that for me, I was just really blessed to have songs that were very popular with the people, not necessarily the radio. Like Gangsta's Paradise, of course, was a huge radio hit. Won a BMI award for the airplay. I had the most airplay that year, and of any song, I think worldwide. So the other songs, like the pop songs, are just really fan favorites and have remained relevant on their
Yeah.
own. And in the process, it keeps me relevant in a sense. When you got someone like Megan Thee Stallion wanting to sample it and do a remake, I get an email from Universal. Hey, Megan Thee Stallion wants to do this song. I'm like, hell no. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding on that. I'm like, hell yeah, of course, because I like Megan Thee Stallion, and Megan Thee
Yeah.
Stallion, to me, she's about the hottest thing going as a female rapper right now.
Yeah. For sure.
So I was excited. I think that helps you keep you relevant. You also mentioned, with the social media, I think today it's like a popularity thing more so than anything else. You have to really focus in on social media and getting a lot of like followers. Followers is just being popular. You know, and I
Yeah.
think that's how you stay relevant in today's world.
What lessons um, had you wish you learned early on in your career, that maybe that you think would have just helped you better your business, or better your brand, or just in general would have just maybe saved you a little bit of time and effort?
I think, well, there's a few things that when I look back that I wish I had done earlier. Like one of the things I wish I had done earlier is writing lyric and melody. And in the 90s, early 2000s, all I did was focus on tracks. I did some arranging as far as harmonies and stuff, like on Gangsta's Paradise. I sang the hook on Only God Can Judge Me, things like that. But, as far as writing entire songs, I didn't really get into that until about 5 years ago.
Hmm.
And found out I was pretty good at it. It took a lot of work and a lot of practice, but I can do it. And so, my catalog is immense at this point, and it continues to grow. So that's one of the things. As far as my business, I always took care of my business. So, now I probably should have got more into this social media sooner, because now I'm
Yeah,
trying to get out there and get my social media popping, and I feel like I'm brand new at it,
yeah, for
and
sure. A
I'm
lot of
just
people are
learning.
though.
Yeah, exactly. I could have had a few years under my belt on that.
So as a producer who has been through the race of trying to compete in this industry, making sure that you got the hottest sounds all the time, that you are working on your melodies, that you have what fans and what artists want. What advice do you have to new producers, whether they are currently, whether they play instruments or not, whether they are considered beat makers nowadays? There's some different terminology going out there based off of what producers have a skill at. But what advice do you have for people who are trying to pursue doing this and have a long-term career at it?
My best advice: do you. That's it, man. Do what you do. One of the things that I had to get away from myself was trying to chase the sound. What's the latest sound? Trying to do something that fit in. Just do you. You know what I'm saying? If you do you, you're gonna get good at doing you. And once you get good at it, you will grow with as time goes on. And so I just think, one of the things that people get caught up doing and get hung up on is trying to chase the latest trend. Don't follow the trend. Just do you.
Yeah, for sure. So what's new for Doug? What is Doug Rasheed working on? What projects do you have in the works? What else? What more of an impact do you think you would like to have on this industry? You've had a humongous impact already. What else would you like to provide to this industry and to the future going forward?
Well, I definitely want to put out more music. I'm really looking at just be staying independent, because I like doing what I like to do. I like being me, and I think I have my own unique sound. I do have material that I could place on other artists, but I just have a sound that's unique, and so I'm really looking at putting out independent music. I've got several albums that are basically done, various genres. I got a rock album. I got a
Okay.
R&B hip hop type album. I got a country album. I got
Okay.
a gospel album. So I got a lot of different music, and I started writing literature as well. So
Okay.
I have two. Yes, sir. I got two books. One is a novel, fictitious novel, and one is my autobiography.
Okay, for
Both are
sure.
complete and finished. Final editing stages, and they'll be coming out very soon.
Definitely looking forward to that. I think in I think a lot of people need to, go back in history a little bit and learn about the people that are behind some of the things that you're interested in. Can just give you a little bit of insight, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on today. This platform, the Lava Lounge, is for the music industry to give fans insight and to give aspiring musicians, producers, information, different points of views, different perspectives, and a chance to just maybe hear something that sparks and ignites a fire that can be a catalyst for them. So I got one more question, and this is just more about current events. Unfortunately, we lost Chadwick Boseman today. This was about, for me, of course, Black Panther is the big movie. He's played Jackie Robinson. He's played James Brown, who you mentioned was somebody that you wish you worked with. I know for me and my sons and my family, to see that movie and to see the power of Black people in motion pictures and in cinema, and having representation meant a lot. I just wanted to get your take on that. You've been in this entertainment industry. You've seen how hard it is for Black men and women to kind of reach the same heights in some respect. So to lose somebody so talented at a young age, it hurts. But we definitely want to get your insight on that.
Yeah, well, I'm very sad about it. I mean, he's one of my favorite actors, up there with Denzel Washington, and the things that he's been able to accomplish in I think in a short period of time, relatively short period of time, is just amazing. I mean, Black Panther was like a movement, man. You just gave everybody this feeling, that was wonderful. Made you feel like, you could connect back to the ancestors and going back to Africa before slavery, like you almost felt like, oh, that's who we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because, we're in America, man, our history has been erased for the most part. Most African Americans, we don't want to go back past slavery, and they don't want us to. So, I think that movie, even though it was fantasy, it felt real, and it was a beautiful thing. I was really looking forward to a lot more work from that brother, and it's a major loss. It's a great loss to everybody.
Likewise. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do a plug here. If you want to do some more research on Doug, his social media is at Doug Rasheed. His website is DougRasheed.com. You can get some more info and everything on him. And Doug, once again, I appreciate you coming on the show, cuz love you, man, and look forward to much more music, and definitely looking forward to reading that autobiography. There's a lot more I want to know about you myself.
Yeah, I will definitely get you an advanced copy, and it's likewise. Love you too, cuzzo. And thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
And I got the Lava Lounge shirt. I'm gonna go ahead and just send it out to you out there in North Carolina, and
please,
I'll make sure I get that to you. And
I'll make sure I sport it.
Yeah, for sure.
Get you some looks.
All right. Well,
Okay.
Well, everybody, that wraps up this episode of Lava Lounge. Thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next episode. Peace. This week's Lava Lounge musical guest is rapper, producer, songwriter Danny Ali from South San Francisco, California. Danny, welcome to the Lava Lounge. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So tell everybody a little bit about your current music projects and where they can find them, how they can follow you.
Well, I'm currently working on something right now, something magical to drop when the time's right. Otherwise, you can find my EP Apollo. It came out earlier this year, or end of last year. Apple Music, Spotify, everywhere you listen to music. My current single, Thugs, came out earlier this year. You can find that Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, everywhere you listen to music.
Okay, bet. And speaking of the single Thugs, Danny Ali is going to do an in-studio performance of Thugs right here. Please, give us a little inspiration behind that record.
Yeah, I feel like that came out at the peak of the racial tension that went on towards right before summer started with the George Floyd case. I felt like it was my obligation, not only as an artist with a platform, but as just a Black man in America, to shed my thoughts on it. I wasn't able to protest because I was out in Hawaii. I didn't feel like I was at home and could do much, so I dropped my thoughts on it. I just freestyled kind of a beat, made a beat, freestyled on it, and just put it out. I feel like it just captured the moment for me, so I just let those thoughts out and let them run.
All right, dope. That's dope. Well, go ahead and make sure you follow Danny Ali at YoungSpaceWolf on Instagram, and go ahead and check out this in-studio performance that we got.
Yeah. Generations of pain, can't stand on my name. We still addicted to the chains, descendants of slaves. They numb us with pills, they bribe us with fame. And they gon' rob you for your voice, knowing shit never changed. Generations of pain, can't stand on my name. We still addicted to these chains, descendants of slaves. They numb us with pills, they bribe us with fame. And they gon' rob you for your voice, knowing shit never changed. Yeah, it's so sadistic. It's red all in these streets, not wearing lipstick. What happened to integrity, not journalistic? I feel so gifted to be on all your minds like all the time. Cause CNN want me to beat another statistic. The 25 and under club, these police knowing love. Showing guns, showing clubs to niggas who ain't old enough. Just showing up, yeah. Knee on our backs, we fold, never crack. They ain't gon' shoot you for crack, but they'll shoot if you black. Nigga, wait. That's a nigga baggage, that's nigga weight. We carry that every day. That's life when the badges gon' kill and spray. And motherfuckers want us to sit and pray. When murderers get away with suspended pay and blood at the gates, these red and blue faces shoot down any dream. Mourn Detroit red, but we gon' get it by any means. They care about the looters, but don't care about the shooters. So what that mean? It's time for revolution, send a king to the guillotine. Yeah, pain, can't stand on my name. Still addicted to these chains, descendants of slaves. They numb us with pills, they bribe us with fame. And they gon' rob you for your voice, knowing shit never changed. Generations of pain, can't stand on my name. Still addicted to the chains, descendants of slaves. Yeah, they numb us with pills, yeah, they bribe us with fame. And they gon' rob you for your voice, knowing shit never changed. Said, what is life to a nigga? Let me paint the picture what it's like to a nigga like me. Reverse the cycle, going psycho, and a nigga might be higher than ever. The flyers get up, whatever, spike the soda like Lee. I put my face in that mirror, cold water to clear up the thoughts that start to creep about this new reign of terror. I wake to falling grace, feeling disgrace is getting nearer. The screams are all the falling, I see the souls and can hear them, it's evident. I lost my head back when my passion went. The devil say I'm heaven sent, but pigs still hassling, yeah. To live a father, die a martyr, it's all the same. The war done started, it's y'all to blame. We from generations of pain, can't stand on my name. Still addicted to the chains, descendants of slaves. They numb us with pills, they bribe us with fame. And they gon' rob you for your voice, knowing shit never changed. Yeah, generations of pain, can't stand on my name. Still addicted to the chains, descendants of slaves. They numb us with pills, they bribe us with fame. Yeah, and they gon' rob you for your voice, knowing shit never changed. Yeah.